Surviving is the same thing as winning. By Please Dial 123. Chapter 19. Beatdown Remixed! Watch me, Kakashi commanded. Sasuke peered closer. With the Sharingan, Kakashi said. Sasuke narrowed his eyes at him for a long moment and then mulishly activated the Sharingan, eyes burning scarlet. Kakashi nodded once and then carefully found his center and started to charge his body with electricity. The reason Chidori can't be copied, Kakashi said, is because it's not strictly a jutsu. It's pure nature manipulation. Kakashi slowly focused his lightning chakra to focus just on his palm until he was holding a wild, chirping ball of blue lightning just waiting to be used. The air around them charged with it, hair rising with the force and focus of it. What killed people wasn't just the attack going through them, though punching a hole through people didn't help. It was the electricity that killed them, hundreds of volts discharging through their body. Now you try, but be careful. You already know you risk electrical burns and you need to stay in top shape for the finals. Sasuke nodded seriously and slowly started to form his own nature chakra. He'd already learned how to charge his whole body, which was prodigious considering they'd been working on this less than a month. Under Kakashi's careful watch, Sasuke, a blue condensed ball of lightning, started to waver in his hand. Stop! Kakashi demanded when his control fluctuated. Sasuke carefully discharged the electricity and slumped, panting. Lightning takes careful, focused handling and a healthy dose of caution, Kakashi told him. But it's also a wild thing. It can't be smoothed. Chidori is condensing it, but letting it keep its edge. If you try to smooth it over like you did, it's more likely to backfire. Don't try to make a sphere of it. Just let it condense and take whatever shape it wants. Kakashi nodded and tried again. Clearing away, a clone was watching just as carefully as he helped Naruto try and focus wind chakra on the edge of his scythe. He was getting it scary fast, but having difficulty releasing it into a thrown blade instead of just coating edges to make them sharper. Way away from that, a Kakashi clone sat meditating with Sakura as he watched her stretch her awareness and chakra deep into the earth. She'd mastered swimming through the earth like it was water, and making the earth form in small spaces, such as to use like hands, but she was having difficulty making anything larger than small walls. The real Kakashi, sitting next to Sasuke, and the far more volatile lightning nature manipulation, smiled to himself. Geniuses, all of them! Sasuke had been recognized as thus back in the academy, but no one had considered Naruto anything more than a fool, despite contrary evidence in his traps and endurance. And Sakura had similarly been ignored for her book knowledge, disregarding how hard she had hit in taijutsu practice and how quickly she picked everything up despite lacking training outside of school. Well, their loss and Kakashi's gain. He quite liked his 3 smart little students. So we meet again. Kakashi smiled at the kids before him. Most gave him a sort of stubborn, mulish look, baby fat cheeks puffing out and eyes squinting in glares. Kakashi looked up at Kurenai and Asuma, and judging by their grins, they found it just as cute and amusing to see their students glowering at him. Have you been training hard? He asked innocently. Have you worked on some strategies?
We're going to kick their butts,
Ino declared, shooting a look at Team 7, who grinned back. This time, these cute little students had forewent the civilian clothes and were at least wearing dark clothing, their weapons visible on their backs. The other teams had also been aware of the challenge for a week now, and Kakashi had been nice enough to announce the same training field so they could plan around that. He hoped they showed some good use out of all the forewarning. It's good to see such enthusiasm. Umino smiled at all of them from where he hovered at Kakashi's shoulder.
All the kids eyed his clipboard with the same wariness you would eye a rabid dog. Does he have to watch us?
Inuzuka whined.
I feel like I'm back at the academy.
Umino continued smiling like he hadn't heard. Well, let's get this started. Kakashi clapped his hands. Same rules as last time. Each of my kids has a bell. You have to get it from them. Blah, blah, blah. Ready? Team 10 and Team 8 all exchanged glances, face set with stubborn determination, and then nodded. Kakashi glanced back at his own kids, who gave him their best innocent smiles. Well, Sasuke's was less of a smile and more a politely uninterested look, but it was pretty much the same thing. All right, ready, set, Go then! Kakashi said without any sort of dramatic flair. He neatly ducked Yamanaka's charge and merely smiled at him when she stuck her tongue out at him on her way past. He ignored how she kicked her heel back at him as if to get in a parting hit and tucked himself out of the way as the teams devolved into a brawl. At least this time there was coordination and teamwork. They even got a decent amount of hits in on Kakashi's kids. Team 7 burst into a cloud of smoke, revealing they had been clones. Ah! The Inuzuka howled. You had a whole week to prepare, Kakashi yelled to the kids. But so did my team. As if waiting for that signal, the yard exploded in purple smoke amidst the curses. Kakashi landed neatly on a high branch alongside Umino, who was still jotting down notes, even as his feet touched down. Do I want to know why you've been following my team around with that for a week? Kakashi asked blandly, as tracking his kids through the bush. Don't you have something more important to be doing? Not as much. Umino smiled like a polite shark. This is important work, and you aren't allowed to know. I'm not allowed? Kakashi raised a brow. Someone telling him he wasn't allowed to do something? Someone other than the Hokage? No, that was just a challenge. Umino's smirk said he knew exactly how Kakashi had just taken that, but he wasn't going to give an inch. Well, that would have to wait until after the chunin exam. Then Kakashi would show him just how persistent and, dare he say, annoying he could be. Kakashi turned back to watch Team 10 fall straight into a pit trap. Team 10 and 8 suffered a beatdown just as hard as last time, but this time they'd been ready enough to give as good as they got. Mostly. At the end, Team 7 was roughed and scuffed but still standing with grins while the other two were collapsed in groaning heaps. Mom, meet us back at our place. We'll handle dinner. Kakashi smiled at the kids. Food! Joji moaned deliriously. Asuma and Kurenai snuck him a handful of bills, and Kakashi gave them a smile before they went to scoop up their kids. Team 7 bound up to him, and Kakashi counted out the cash the other two had given him, while also adding some of his own. He found an extra wad in his pocket and narrowed his eyes at Umino, who smiled innocently back. Had he actually slipped one past Kakashi? Kakashi really was getting tired of all of Umino's surprises. You know what to do, Kakashi said, dividing the cash to his kids. Yes, sir! They mock saluted before dashing off. Kakashi made sure Team 8 and 10 were truly okay under the sensei's checkup, and then headed off on his own. Well, mostly on his own, he thought, as Umino fell to step with him. If they're getting dinner, what are you getting? Umino asked cheerfully as they stepped back into town. Beer, Kakashi said, for after the kids fall asleep, of course. Umino didn't give him the stink eye he'd expected and laughed instead. That's fair. Those kids would drive me to drink if I had to keep them in line all the time still. And so they found a small corner store, and Kakashi loaded up on beer while Umino found the good wine section. They both raided the juice section for the kids, and they entered the Hatage Manor with arms full to find everyone else but Team 7 there. Kakashi's hounds had obviously let the other teams in, and they were in the process of cleaning up. The kids in the washrooms wiping dirt off their hands and faces, while Asuma had commandeered his kitchen to get a jug of water, and Kurenai was shoving the veranda doors open so the entire living space was open to the courtyard. Beer, Asuma said reverently, helping Kakashi shove it in the fridge. One right now can't hurt, right? Umino let me buy it, but I doubt he will let you drink it in front of the kids, Kakashi said pointedly. But it's your funeral if you want to try. Azuma winced and declined to do so. When the kids finished washing up, they joined them, Asuma pouring glasses of water and juice to the still exhausted kids. Team 7 arrived not too much later, arms absolutely loaded down with food to the cheer of the others. Umino and Naruto commandeered the food, laying it out so the table was absolutely loaded before handing plates out. The adults watched their cute little vicious ninja kids squabble over food and get full plates before they got their own. Only when they had eaten their fill did Naruto announce he'd brought ice cream as well. While a few of the kids went to raid the freezer, Shikamaru approached Kakashi. I brought shogi, Shikamaru told him with narrowed, determined eyes. Well, Kakashi hummed, I guess we could have a game. Kakashi set it up on the veranda with a grim set to his lips as if he was already imagining defeat. His or Kakashi's was unknown.
I'm so full, Ino moaned, rolling the bump into Sakura. Where do you put it all?
I'm a taijutsu specialist, pig.
Sakura mocked, biting into her ice cream bar.
I can eat anything I want and not gain anything more than muscle.
Ino pouted, but didn't roll away, staying curled half around Sakura as she ate another dumpling. Sasuke, who was a shy boy, had already retreated to the veranda just a ways away from Shikamaru, the over-socializing reaching his tolerance point. Kakashi was surprised the boy didn't break out in hives when surrounded by so many friendly people who wanted to visit. Naruto dragged him his koto a minute later, and Sasuke plucked at it absently, some tension leaving his shoulders.
Oh, are we doing a song?
Sakura perked up at the strums. And that was how Kakashi ended up facing Shikamaru and Shogi as Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura played a beautiful little piece, all the kids listening with wide eyes. The adults watched fondly, tucked back in their own conversation as they socialized. It was as close to peace as Kakashi had ever known. He won the game, by the way, smiling as Shikamaru gnashed his teeth and demanded another thorough trancing.